In this training session, we're still busy with purchase orders, and now we want to look at AutoGenerate. In other words, AutoGenerate will allow you, after selecting a purchase order, to create a quotation from a purchase order or a sales order. In other words, if we look at quotes, sales orders, or job cards, you can then change or select a data. One can even only specify one or two of the items that was on the original purchase order, and then you auto-generate. In other words, it will then say that you've auto-generated a quotation. If I select the same purchase order and I click on auto-generate again, and I actually want to create a purchase order, but I want to change the creditor for the purchase order. If I normally edit a purchase order, I can't actually change the creditor. So if I create a purchase order on a purchase order, I can change the creditor, perhaps even change some of the items. Otherwise, you click on Generate Document, and it's then created exactly the same purchase order, but to a different creditor. But now that we can auto-generate documents, to remember what you've done with all these auto-generate options, we've added an option under company details. In other words, we say utility setup company details. We will click on default settings 1, and here you'll see an option, show auto-generate relations, where we can specify where would we like to see these relations. In other words, this is now going to divide our screen for us into two sections, where we can see our purchase orders in our case, and then we will also be able to see the auto-generate relations. So I'm going back to purchase orders, and as soon as I click on the specific purchase order that I originally used, tells me that I've already created a quote on that purchase order, and I've created another purchase order. So the auto-generate option will allow you to generate quotes, sales orders, purchase orders, or job cards. But you can also switch on this extra screen on a company details default settings 1 that will allow you to see what you've done. And that concludes looking at AutoGenerate.